astronauts, it's me, Brandy, and welcome back to Astro-Tarot Research. It is lovely to see you astronauts return. And this week's reading is, how will the rest of the year be for you? I was going to do this in July, but I figure everyone's doing it in July. I'm going to do it towards the end of summer, beginning of fall, so we could see what's going to be happening when the seasons change onward. Now, as usual, we have 5 piles to choose from, but before we get into these piles, you know what I'm going to do. I'm going to remind you to like, to comment, and to subscribe. And if you want to follow me on TikTok, you can, and Instagram. Those links will be down below. And don't forget that I do like to go live weekly now. I'm trying to make it regularly Sunday, but we shall see. I try to pop up during the week as well if I feel like my schedule is going to be a little bit shaky. Now let's just get into these piles because you guys don't want to hear me blab on. We have pile number 1, pile number 2, pile number 3, pile number 4, and pile number 5. So let's not waste any more time and just sit back, relax, and choose. Hey pile number 1, let's get started on your reading and what the rest of the year is going to be like for you. The 7 of Cups, the 3 of Wands, the Queen of Coins, the 6 of Wands, and Feel. Now this is an affirmation card, so let me read this for you. The range of our emotions is meant to be experienced fully, beautifully, and wholly, yet we are taught to suppress the less pretty emotions for the fear that they keep at bay. The more desirable ones, the ones that are more pleasurable to feel. But to numb one end of this spectrum is to numb the full breathereth. Our human experience, allow yourself to feel it all. Depth in the sorrow, heat in the anger, stuck in the impatience, radiance in the joy, lusciousness in the pleasure. And if it is any comfort, you can always remember to turn the dial up on some. Is it to turn the dial up on all? Oh, to turn the dial up on some is to turn the dial up on all. Sorry, there's no commas here, guys. They should throw a comma in there. But yeah, so feel. Okay, I like that. That makes sense, especially since we got this 7 of Cups and the 3 of Wands here. All right, so the rest of the year, we can already see that you are going to have to feel the full range of your emotions. Maybe it's like the cards are saying that you have not been fully expressing everything that you need to express, and that's really not surprising given this spread. When we have the 3 of Wands reversed, because it's next to the 7 of Cups, the 3 of Wands upright is about expression, creative expression, putting yourself out there, being true to yourself, coming up with some sort of unique ideas, etc., things like that. So what I'm getting is there's probably been a part of yourself that you haven't fully been putting out there, sharing yourself with the world with. Maybe you have some very quirky, intricate, interesting parts of your personality that maybe you don't feel are going to be accepted. The cards just say put it out there anyway. The 3 of Wands and all threes tend to be more so about communities and groups, third parties, and things along the lines of that. By putting yourself out there and being true to your full self and expressing yourself creatively, whether that's, through your clothing, through how you speak, through, I know a lot of autistic people have to do a lot of masking. By expressing yourself authentically, the cards are saying you're allowing more people to come in who will appreciate who you are as a person. And not only that, but it will feel like such a release for you. It will feel like, wow, I can finally just get that off my shoulders and I don't have to hold this in for so long. Like I don't have to pretend to be somebody that I'm not. Okay, keep that in mind with this 3 of Wands energy, because we want to see you be able to grow. And it may not even just be talking about generally you maybe not fully expressing yourself in terms of like, oh, I'm sad today, I'm happy today. It could be talking about expressing yourself when it comes to a project, working in a group setting, working on a business, presenting yourself in some manner. Because the Three of Wands upright is somebody who has fully put themselves out there and now they're waiting for others to react. The Three of Wands reverse is like, you didn't even put anything on the boat to like, okay, we have nothing to react to. We're like grasping at straws here. We're trying to figure out like what results are you hoping to get? Because the Seven of Cups here lets me know that you have all of these ideas. And I've met people like this where they have so many great ideas, but then they don't put them out there. It's either fear, or they're scared that somebody is going to say something negative and they're going to be hurt, which is understandable. Or they kind of get caught up in the planning stages. They get too overly analytical about things. And it's like, just make a move. The cards are saying for the rest of the year, it wants you to just make a move and put whatever you've been thinking about, whatever ideas you've had in your head, whatever things you've been wondering about, wanting to try, something you may have had on your bucket list. Put yourself out there and do it. Like, put the effort in and just throw it out there. Don't hold on to it. Throw it out there. Seven of Cups can sometimes be too daydreamy, too stuck in the clouds, too stuck in the ideas, too stuck in the concept process. And it doesn't all the time, especially next to the Three of Wands reverse, remember to take the leap, take the jump. The cards are saying take the leap and take the jump, please. You will be successful. Look at this. We have the Queen of Coins. We have the Six of Wands here. What more do you need? What more encouragement do you need? Put yourself out there. You're going to get the things that you want, okay? The cards are saying, please be explorative. Go expand. Don't feel impatient, because sometimes we get the Three of Wands to represent, when it's reversed, being a little impatient. Maybe you've already put a few things out there and you're like, oh man, that did not turn out how I wanted to turn out. The cards are saying be impatient. Be patient, because one of these things is going to work. And if it's not something you're already working on, then it's some new idea, okay? And that's going to work. That's going to be fulfilled. Keep pushing, keep trying things. Sometimes it's a matter of trial and error. If you have something you truly, really believe in, test out a few things with it. Like, for example, let's say, I'll just use a YouTube channel because I have a YouTube channel, so I've experienced that. Let's say you're not getting a lot of traction in your videos. Maybe play with the title, see if that changes things. Play with the description, see if that changes things. Mess with the thumbnails, change the colors, change how you present things, change how you, like let's say you were a tarot reader, change how you read the cards. I don't know. Whatever it just says try a few things. This can work. You can be successful. And I think when you start to explore more, when you start to put more of yourself out there, be more true to your authentic self, when you start making changes, being open to change, and stop listening to other people's ideas and inputs, because sometimes Seven of Cups can be other people's ideas coming in and they're like, oh, you should try this thing. You should try that thing. You should do things this way. And it's like, no, start listening to your own creative voice. Have more confidence. Be more in the moment. Explore, explore, explore. Jump in full force. Then you will achieve the success. And honestly, it looks like it's going on that path. It looks like with the Three of Wands here, you're reevaluating. You're reevaluating because you see, because Seven of Cups, all sevens are reflective. I think you see where you're at and you're like, this is not where I want to be. I want something more from the situation that I'm currently in. I want some movement going on. I want to sometimes, in some cases, side note, let's sidetrack a little bit. For some of you, this could be like, I want to travel more. And I have all these places in my mind that I want to go to, but I'm not sure. I'm trying to narrow it down. Maybe I want to go to France. Maybe I want to go to Vietnam. Maybe I want to go to Indonesia. Maybe I want to go to Kenya. And I just don't know where to go. Like, and you haven't even, done the research on the places. You know what I mean? The cards are saying, sit down, do the research, and then based on what you feel, what feels like you connect with, jump and do that. Buy that plane ticket and take off, right? That's what the Three of Wands wants to do. So the rest of the year is kind of like deciding what you want to do, taking those leaps, stepping forward, and then gaining success, okay? And I love that we have this feel card because I feel like this totally represents the reading here, because it's talking about how you can be very much a sensitive, vulnerable human being, which is amazing. The cards think that's one of your strengths. But it's saying you need to allow that expression and put it out there and share it with other people. Other people would love to see this side of you. Don't get me wrong, there'll be haters. There's always haters. But who cares about them? Okay, they want to see you go out there, and I'll go back to the travel example. You go out there and go to Kenya and then, report back or vlog about it, or, take pictures and show your friends, families, and coworkers. And they want to see you go out there, have fun, do your thing. So I do think for the rest of the year, it is about you making some decisions, because we have all minor arcana. So you have a lot of freeway. You have a lot of freeway with how the rest of the year is going to go. But the cards are saying, basically with the way things are going, it looks like you're already thinking about things. You're going to think a little bit deeper about things. You're going to probably take more effort in, take more leaps, take more risks, explore a little bit more, take the plunge, and then you're going to start gaining more success, is what I'm seeing. Okay. And this doesn't even have to be in terms of like some project you're working on. Like I said, this could have to do with travel. This could have to do with like if you're dating, like Seven of Cups, representing having like a bunch of different options that you may be possibly interested in. And then you are like, I don't know if I want to go on a date with this person or that person, da 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 da. Or I don't want to know if I want to go to this event, this singles event. I don't know if I want to join a dating app. I don't know if I want to get a dating coach. I don't know if I want to try a matchmaker. Like, it's like saying you're just sitting there kind of like contemplating, juggling things in your head instead of just like taking the leap and going for it and things like that. And even for you guys who may be perpetually single, who maybe some people don't show a lot of interest in, because that is a fellow group of people that I have spoken with and saying, hey, we don't have a lot of people showing interest in us. This can definitely represent being the more so like the activities, the places and things that you can do and go to, which can represent things that you are excited about and passionate to do. For example, maybe you're somebody, who likes to cook. So you go to cooking events. But the cards are saying here, you've been hesitant to like go out and go to cooking classes, if that were the case, right? But it's saying to meet those people, you need to go do the things that excite you and bring you passion, bring you like ignite your passion, essentially. And then you would meet people, you would feel like you're in your element. Look at this Queen of Coins card. Look how happy they are holding their little coin. Like, that would be you being like at your cooking class and holding your I don't know, loaf of bread or something, if you made something, or soup, being like, look what I made. And then everyone's like, oh my God, you made something great. And then you meet like some woman or man there and you connect with them, right? With this Six of Wands energy. So that's what the cards are saying. So the rest of the year, take more chances, take more leaps, and you'll get more success. And I think it's already going this way. And I think you're already seeing it yourself. And the cards are just saying, yes, absolutely. Keep doing that. Follow your intuition. Go at what you feel. Fully express yourself. Don't hold back. And you're going to be doing that, I believe. I think that's what's going to be happening. The card's saying keep up that momentum. I think it's just more encouragement for pile number one. But overall, that's what's going to be happening the rest of this year for you. And you're going to achieve a lot of successes. So the Wands cards, I often get they connect with fire houses. So the first house, the 5th house, and the 9th house. And the first house kind of rules like basically the whole chart. So there's going to be a lot of different areas of success in your life. So it's going to be a little bit hard to narrow down. But one thing we don't have is a lot of swords. So swords are the 3rd house, the 7th house, and the 11th house. So it's like less so media communications and things along the lines of that successes. So it's more like sort of personal goals that you've had having more success in that range. Now, if your personal goals has to do with your media, then yeah, that works. But not everyone's a social media influencer. And I'm thinking, because we don't have a lot of swords with this card, that you guys may or may not, most of you may not be, you know, having your own TikToks, Instagram channels that are trying to make a living or something off of it. Otherwise, I think we'd probably have some swords here or something. But it's more so I have some personal goals in my life that I want to accomplish, and I'm going to go do them. Let's say you've always wanted to go bungee jumping. Now you're going bungee jumping. You've always wanted to go to a boat on a yacht, or a yacht. You want to go to a boat on a yacht. If you've always wanted to go on a yacht, now you're going on a yacht. Like this is like the cards, the spread that's like I'm allowing myself to just fully immerse myself in my feelings and feel the bad things, feel the good things, and take chances. Even though it makes me nervous, even though it makes me afraid, I'm going to do it. I'm going to not hold back, and I'm going to invest myself fully in these things, okay? And I'm going to fully express myself. I'm not going to hide myself from people. Look at the Six of Wands. They're being paraded around. Is there anywhere to hide? No. That's what's going to be happening for the rest of the year for you. You're going to be receiving more attention for the things that you do and areas in your life, and possibly at work as well. Yeah, possibly at work as well, because the Six of Wands is following the Queen of Wands, and you know, she's a boss. She likes to work. If you're not working, this could be school. If you're not in work or school, this could just be shining in some area that you have some hobby in. Maybe you do something for like the neighborhood, like if your neighborhood has some sort of or your community has some sort of bake sale fair, like you know how communities have like county fairs or county what do they like the where they compete for like baked goods, like this person has the best cake, this person has the best bread, this person has the best muffins, like something like that in the community. And this would be you entering your pie in that contest and winning best pie or something like that. So something along the lines of that is happening for you, pile number 1, the rest of the year. You're achieving a lot of victories. You're achieving a lot of things. And also you may be receiving a lot more compliments, and people may just feel more complimentary towards you as well. So keep that in mind for the rest of the year. People may be saying, oh, you look really good. You know, I like what you do with your hair there. Oh, that's a really good outfit on you. That color really, you know, makes your eyes pop. That really suits your figure, like something along the lines of that. Like people may feel more complimentary towards you. It may not be your physical appearance, maybe something that you did. Let's say you created some music, you created an album. They said, wow, this is really good. Like I really like this. Or you have a really good singing voice, and oh my gosh, you made this. You play this instrument. That's incredible. So something like that is happening for you. But that's what I want to say, pile number 1. It's going to be an amazing rest of the year. There's going to be so much you're going to do. So much you're going to do. And I know you have so many ideas, and you may be hesitating to do them all, but you're going to start doing them. Slowly but surely, you're going to start doing them, and they're going to start going the way you wanted them to go originally. If you've already put yourself out there, okay? Because some of you've already put yourself out there. All right, so I will see you next time, pile number 1. If this pile doesn't resonate, feel free to choose another pile, or maybe I'm not the reader for you. That happens sometimes too. Either way, I do hope you come back. And hey, pile number 2, let's get into how the rest of the year will be for you. We have the Empress, the King of Coins, the Knight of Coins. I brought up my affirmation cards, and I'll read that in a second. And the 10 of Wands. The affirmation card is attitude. if you can't see it. And it says, what if you were to imagine a world in which everything happened for you instead of one in which everything happens to you? What would you see differently? What would you do differently? The simple act of allowing yourself to shift your perspective has the power to shift your entire life. Okay, so right away, I know exactly what we are talking about here. So let me just start with the things I see. 10 of Wands and attitude. It looks like right now, and maybe even a little bit as the year goes on, you're going to have a lot on your plate. It's going to be stressful if you're not already stressed. It's going to be exhausting. It's going to be just like you are going through it, challenge after challenge, hurdle after hurdle. You got to do this thing. Then you got to jump through this hoop. And then you've got to tackle this problem. And then now you have this thing coming up. And now somebody needs you to help you with this. And there's thing after thing coming your way. And it feels like this card attitude says, things are happening to you instead of how the cards would like you to feel is that things are happening for you. Because we can look at the 10 of Wands and we can see someone who is on the brink of just maybe giving up's not the right word, of just having to let go, having to unload the responsibilities. They can't handle it all. They are leaning over. Their back is hurting. They have so much going on. But the positive thing, which is what the cards want you to see, is with the 10 of Wands, we have you reaching a long-term goal. We have you at the finish line here. We have you being somebody who is being recognized. You think people can't see all of these wands this person is carrying? That's you holding all your responsibilities. That's you holding all of your accomplishments. That's you holding all of your passions and the things that you're doing and pushing forward in the world. You are being seen. You are being recognized. People see all of the things that you're tackling, all of the things that you're accomplishing, all of the things that are happening in your life. That's another thing that I want to go into, jumping off of that point from the 10 of Wands, all of the things that are happening. You have 1,000,001 opportunities coming your way right now. And with this 10 of Wands, it looks like you're trying to grab hold of all of them, but it's overwhelming. These are all great things that are happening, or at least most of them are probably great things that are happening. But because it's so much happening at once, it can feel stressful and it can feel burdensome. But the cards are saying, hold on, just hold on for a second. We know, the universe knows that you are going through so much right now, that you are tackling so much on your plate right now. But it wants you to know that you are at the finish line. It is not going to continue this way for much longer. 10 of Wands is about endings, okay? So it's saying just keep going for a little bit longer and we've got this. It's not telling you to be Superman or Superwoman forever. It's saying for the rest of the year that, yeah, things may be tough, but you're going to get what you want. Like I said, it's about reaching that long-term goal. It's about making it to this place of success. It's also another thing about, like I said, you get that admiration, you get that recognition. Not only that, but it also has to do with having the ability to gain a bunch of new skills, because people may not look at wands this way, but in astrology, wands are connected to fire. And fire signs rule the education houses and the houses of skills. And the houses of higher learning. So you're gaining a lot more skills. You're gaining a lot more information that you need to move forward and to help you be the best version of yourself in the future. You're getting wiser. You're getting smarter. And you are being somebody recognized as somebody who's very accomplished and extremely capable. People will see you as being a very capable person. That's probably the reason why another reason why you're also getting so much on your plate right now. People are saying, oh, I know the person for the job for this person. Because they see the way you get things done. They see the way you tackle things. They see how, you have all these things flying at you and you handle them with such care and such efficiency that they want to give you more things. And yes, for you, you're like, this is a lot. You're giving me a lot, and I already have a lot on my plate. But it shows that people have a lot of respect for you. So the rest of the year, though may be tiresome, I want to say you are going to be gaining that recognition, that success, and reaching the goals. And also, one thing that I love about Ten of Wands is the feeling of kind of like, sometimes it's connected to like elation too, or a lot of excitement, or keeping like very busy, obviously. But it's kind of like saying, wow, I have so much going for me. I'm super excited. I have all these things happening at once. This is like, whoa, overwhelming. It's kind of like when people like become successful overnight or something along the lines of that. The Ten of Wands could also represent sort of like going viral in a sense. I think there was a creator recently, I've been following their journey. I think her name is Jules. You know, the very demure person. If you're very familiar with TikTok, she's like very demure, very mindful. It's been like everywhere on social media. And she's been showing her journey and how everything's just been blown up in 1 second, in the blink of an eye. And she's getting all these opportunities to go to interviews, shows, etc., travel, getting a new place, helping her family, helping her friends. And it's overwhelming, as she said. She's like, all of this is just happening at once, and that's you. All of these good things are going to be happening at once, and I know they're good things because the card said attitude. It's saying, hey, not to promote any sort of toxic positivity. We don't want to do that here, but we do want to recognize that you will have a lot of good things going for you if you don't already have that going for you. It's saying that you're going to have more good things coming your way. You may feel like, oh, I got a lot going on right now. More's coming, but they are good things. Just want to reiterate that they are good things. And so it can be very exciting, and it can be very thrilling too. So keep that in mind too. Having a lot of energy to disperse towards things that you are passionate about, and then having so many of those things take off and do well in those things. Okay. Now let's get into the cards up top, because I had to get into the attitude first. I never read with these types of cards. I can't remember the name for them, the affirmation cards, but maybe I should, because I feel like it's really helping to like get the points across to what I'm trying to say. So back up to the top with the Empress, the King of Coins, the Knight of Coins. Come on. Does that not tell you that the rest of the year is going to be amazing? Look at these wonderful cards. It kind of just reiterates what I said at the bottom. Even if I didn't have these cards up here, I could just read from this and tell you, you have a lot of great things coming your way. But even if I just go back up to the top of these cards, it just reaffirms these two cards at the bottom. It's saying that you're going to be someone who is experiencing a lot of happiness. The Empress is like one of my happiness cards, because she's in her element. She's feeling wonderful. She is graceful. She is being appreciated. She gets to do the things that she wants to do. She looks good. She smells good. She's expressing herself creatively. She has friends. She's got family. She's got support. She's got, everything she possibly needs. So you're going to be like a very, very lucky person in that way. And connected to Venus here, which is obviously the planet of love and beauty and creation as well. So there's so many good things coming your way. You're going to feel very at home with the things that are going to be offered to you, with the things that you're probably currently working on and currently doing. And you're going to blossom, if that's even possible, even more so. All of your hard work's definitely paying off. I'll say that, especially with the King of Coins and the Knight of Coins. And also because Venus is connected to finances. Obviously, it rules Taurus, which is the second house of finances. More than likely, there's going to be some either increase in finances, increase in savings, or more stability within your finances. And with the Ten of Wands here, it kind of lets me know things are kind of happening faster than you expected. I'm not going to say fast because we have the Knight of Coins coming your way, but it definitely faster than you expected in certain avenues. So it's probably like in certain avenues, things are going very fast and you're getting a lot more coins and stuff. But in other avenues, it may be taking a little bit longer, but it's coming. I don't know if the cards are just like overblowing or something like that. the lighting kind of shifted a little bit. But so let's say, for example, you have 2 jobs. One job could be like blowing up and giving you more opportunities to sell things to customers, and then the other job's taking its time, but you do notice that you're having an impact. People are appreciating you more. You're getting more recognition, just taking a little bit slower. So it could be something along the lines of that. So one area of your life really blows up. The other area is still blowing up, just a little bit slower. Something along the lines of that. It doesn't have to be in regards to money, but because Venus is connected to money and we got the King of Coins and Knight of Coins, I've got to mention the money. Job opportunities, certifications, opportunities for, certificates along the lines of that. Things having to do with, if you start a business, it's going to start doing quite well. You're getting more clientele. You're gaining, if you are in social media, you're getting more followers. If you're not that invested in those areas, then it's going to be something that you personally are working on and find appreciating and enjoyment in. And you're going to be able to invest yourself a lot more in that. Your investments could be paying off if you have invested in certain things, properties, stock, 401ks. That's going to improve. That's going to go up. Savings going to go up. If you're trying to save for some sort of house, apartment, etc., you may get the apartment you want. You may get the house that you want. It's like getting certain things you want. But with the Pentacles here, it's connected to earth signs and earth houses. Earth houses, like I said, the 2nd house with Taurus, 6th house with Virgo, 10th house with Capricorn. Obviously, the highlight here being Taurus, because that is what Venus is connected to in terms of earth signs. So the 2nd house is really blowing up. Things having to do with family. Your family may need things from you more. Maybe your family asks for some help. Maybe your family also wants to pay you for that help, or they want to assist you in some way. Like, if you help me with this, I'll pay you this type of money, or, they pay you back in a different way. They offer you support. They help you with things. Spending more time with friends. This can also have to do with an elevation in looks, like if you wanted to focus on your health and, if you want to focus on your health or any sort of beautification. I mentioned that because Taurus is connected to the face and also the things that you eat and put into your body. And this would be putting in things in your body that sustain you. But with the 10 of Wands on the bottom, it can be like a dramatic change in a way where you're like, wow, this change worked. I didn't expect it to work this fast, but it looks like it's working. It's a little frustrating to change my diet this quickly, but now I'm changing it. This could also be something along the lines of maybe like if you have kids, they have lots of different activities and your kids are blossoming and doing well in those activities and you're happy for them. You're like, oh my gosh, my kid is doing so well at playing the clarinet. I'm so proud of them. I'm so happy. But now they're going to all these recitals and wow, it's amazing that this is happening. My kid is so great, but I feel a little bit tired, having to drive to all these recitals a little bit, something like that. But it's good things happening for you along the areas of that in your family. Or this could be some other instance with your family members. For example, like you could have more additions to your family. I only mention that because of the Knight of Coins, and Knight of Coins is like relatively new. And sometimes when I get the Knight of Coins, Page of Coins, or Knights and Pages in general, it can represent somebody new coming in. This can also represent having more social interactions that are positive with people who can help you, propel you towards your goals. 6th house can represent anything that had to do with health, pets, people along the lines of like you work with or people that you hire. Sometimes people you manage, but that I would think that's more 3rd house in my experience, but sometimes that. But it's really more so people you work with closely, and those people are going to really like and appreciate you, especially with the Empress here. They're going to be giving you their flowers. They're going to be saying, oh, thank God you helped me with this. I really like working with you. Something along the lines of that is going to be happening for the rest of the year. If you end up working in groups, like say you go to school, you work in class, you have some people that you work with that you really get along with and create positive relationships, maybe even lasting relationships, because the 10 of Wands not only represents meeting a long-term goal, but it also represents committing to something long term, committing to your efforts long term. And that could be committing to a relationship long term. So maybe a relationship comes into your life in which you two connect long term with each other, a friendship, a romantic relationship. It's quite possible, especially with the Empress there. She loves romance, lots of passion there. You could even meet some people when it comes to dating, because you could easily read this. I can easily read this spread as two options coming into your life. Like you have the King of Coins and you have the Knight of Coins, and they both offer different things. Obviously the King of Coins is a little bit more mature when it comes to saving and spending and having to be routine and consistent, as well as giving you the option of choice, where the Knight of Coins can be a little bit too bogged down around the details. They're like, oh, where do you want to eat? And then they go into like, well, do you want this type of fish at this type of restaurant, or do you want sushi with this type of what do you call masago on top of it, or do you want this location? Like they kind of get really bogged down, and you're just like, hey, I just want sushi, pick somewhere nice. The Knight of Coins can get a little bogged down with the details and something like that, because they want to be very specific and they take a little bit longer to plan that date, right? So it comes along the lines of that. So there's a great possibility that you are going to meet people, and it may happen in a way that feels like sudden, and you're like, oh, I don't know if I have time to date right now. And if you're in a relationship, this is kind of saying that maybe it's quite possible that they want a stronger commitment from you. And maybe you weren't expecting this. Maybe you're like, oh, we didn't even talk about marriage, or we didn't even talk about moving in, or yeah, we were dating, but oh, I guess you would like to be in a relationship now. I never even really thought about that right now. This is happening a little bit sooner than I thought it would, which seems to be the theme here, a little bit sooner than you thought it would. And it's like, oh, this is exciting, but a little bit overwhelming, but it's exciting still. These are all the things that are happening to you for the rest of the year. And we didn't even get to the 10th house, which I've said before, kind of with the 10 of Wands, where it has to do with that recognition. It has to do with you being in the public eye. This could possibly even being, like I said, you being placed more in the public eye. Maybe it's, if you don't have a social media account, this would be you at work doing more speeches, you coming in contact with people in authority, more than likely people who have, if not more feminine energy, if not women, more feminine energy in that way. By feminine energy, I mean they tend to be a little bit more socially wired in a way. Like they're more sociable, more open, more focused on soft skills like communication and conversation and building relationships. So somebody who's really great at building relationships, you may be placed in front of people who have a lot of authority, and they're going to look at you as somebody who is dependable, maybe somebody who's still growing and learning, but for the most part, you're going to have a positive image in front of them, and that's going to sit with them for a long time, especially with this 10 of Wands there. Like that's going to be ingrained in their brain. They're like, oh, this person, I can count on this person to do this. So where if there's a big project or something that's coming up at work, or if they need a quest, or they want somebody to do something, they may end up calling on you in a later date. Okay, so these are the things that are coming for you as we move forward within the year. Like I said, if you're in school, you're probably going to get like A's and B's or something along the lines of that. You may make the dean's list. You may end up getting into a program that you've wanted to get into. This could be in a program for other things as well. I know other certain areas have programs as well that you may need to get into. I can't name into everything. It kind of reminds me of like, this is a random example, but in Japan, like if you want to go to a concert, you have to be in a lottery system. And this would be like, okay, you get the opportunity and you win the lottery to get into that system. Or like if you were on a waiting list for something like, let's say some dating app like Raya or something like that. This would be like, okay, you finally get into Raya or something. You were on some waiting list. Now you're finally in. So something along the lines of that, where if you were waiting for something, waiting for some opportunity, it's coming. It's coming now. And it's coming pretty quickly. And that's the main message of this reading. You're going to get for the rest of the year some opportunities coming your way in an unexpected manner that is going to bring you all of the things that I just spoke about with the finances, the recognition, maybe possibly new people coming into your life, meeting coworkers, possibly some health benefits that you didn't expect to work, but they're working for you. Even more than likely, some sort of upgrade when it comes to if you are working on your physical appearance, some sort of upgrade when it comes to your physical appearance as well, if that's what you are concerned with. A lot of great things are happening for you, pal number 2. Like, this is really amazing rest of the year. Don't get me wrong, you're grinding away. There's hard work to be done. And we don't have any swords here, so it lets me know that you're out of your head. You don't even have time to think. You're busy. I'm letting you know you're busy for the rest of the year. You're focusing on the things that you need to get done, and you're going to get them done. But don't get too bogged down on the details. Don't try to overthink things and try to make things perfect all the time. The cards are letting you know you're going to do a great job. And it may be a few learning curves, like I said, with this Knight of Coins on the end. But for the most part, you're here to deliver, and you're going to deliver. Set a goal, you're going to get it. Set a goal, you're going to make it. That's what's happening for you for the rest of the year. It's all positive. Even if you have a little bit anxiety about everything happening, it's all positive. That is what I have for you, pal number 2. I'm going to end the reading, and I'll see you next. Hey, pal number 3. Let's see how the rest of the year will be for you. We have the 2 of Wands, the King of Swords. It says Ace of Swords, but it's the King of Swords. The 5 of Wands. Now we have the Ace of Swords. Very funny. And we have Receive. We are taught to receive, give more, open more, share more, be more, but to receive takes courage. For receiving is a subtle subconscious act of admitting that we cannot do it all, and we can't. What if we were to realize that the very art of giving is perfected in the craft of receiving? What if the secret to giving more is to allow yourself to fully, wholeheartedly, and unapologetically receive? Okay. Receive. I love that. It looks like there's going to be some help or possibly opportunities coming your way, which makes sense because we have this 2 of Wands energy. And when I get the 2 of Wands, it's definitely having to do with having an idea, waiting for the right opportunity, and sort of like you're planning things out, really. You have an idea of where you're going, what you want to do, but you're trying to be strategic about it and get things done. And with this card Receiving here, it's letting me know either 1, it physically wants someone to actually help you along this process, allow other people to give you their ideas, their inputs. Like, let's say, I've been using travel. So let's say you want to go on a vacation to Spain, and you're trying to plan this vacation to Spain, but you've never been before. Then you bump into your coworker and they say, oh, hey, what are you doing this summer? You say, oh, I'm going to plan a vacation to Spain. They say, oh, Spain? I used to live in Spain for about 5 months. Let me tell you about these restaurants. And they start telling you about the restaurants. And you may be like, I'm not sure if I want to go to those ones. The cards in the universe are saying, be open to it. Be open to people's ideas. Be open to their input. It can add to the things that you're trying to achieve. Be open to other people's perspective. You don't have to let it all in. You don't have to take in what everyone's saying, but be open. And I can understand from what the cards are saying here with this 5 of Wands energy and this King of Swords and the Ace of Swords. It's kind of a whole reading having to do with discernment, really. It's about what exactly do you want to let in, because some stuff sounds like hateration. Some stuff sounds like people are trying to tell you what to do with your direction and where you want to go in your life. Trust me, I have an astrology channel, and people are always trying to tell me, astrology and tarot channel, how I should do things, from the smallest things to how I should lay my cards and the speed I should say the number of the cards at, to how I should pronounce things, to what kind of research I should do. It gets wild. Some of the suggestions. So I can completely understand possibly what you may be going through, pal number 3, where you're having a lot of different voices in your ear, and you have to learn to figure out which ones that I can actually take seriously and listen to, and that may help expand my thinking and my growth, and which is just utter nonsense. So the rest of this year will be you kind of deciphering between that. Deciphering between the haters, the people who just really, maybe they mean well, but come on, it's like you don't want to hear it, and the people who legitimately have some good things to say that can actually benefit you and push you to expand and grow in your goals and whatever it is that you need to accomplish, and to help you with your decision making. That's what's going on here for you guys. And it's actually wonderful that you're going to have to go through this a lot, because it's going to make your discernment a lot stronger, and you're going to build a lot more confidence, and you're going to be somebody who is able to, I guess, tell the people who aren't really helpful to, go, shoe fly, don't bother me, like, essentially, but you're going to say it in a nicer way. And you're going to learn how to deal with those conflicts. You're going to learn how to overcome those challenges in a way. And that's what's going to be mainly happening for you, pal number 3. With this Ace of Swords here, it's saying that you're somebody who's going to cut through all that nonsense, cut through all the noise, and be able to focus on what's important to you. Now, what I'm getting here also, if we're just talking about the general vibe for the rest of the year, with the planning and the strategizing, the King of Swords. The King of Swords here. And I don't know why they have this printing error, but you have to look at the top of the cards and look at the little crown and stuff like that. But it's the King of Swords, just in case you were wondering how I knew that. But you're looking at the Two of Wands, the King of Swords, and the Five of Wands. This is you taking on some possibly new initiatives in your life, looking to expand and grow, probably expanding and growing. Going beyond your current circumstances and situations and pushing yourself outside of that, and feeling confident enough to go forward and achieve your goals is what's happening. It's like you're rising in ambition. It's like, okay, I have something that I've got on lock, some sort of situation that I've got down pat. I think now it's time for me to explore, and now it's time for me to grow. But this area that you want to expand and grow in does seem to have a lot of competition. There does seem to be a lot of challenges coming in this area that you are looking to expand and grow in. There's a lot of maybe an environment where a lot of people may be self-involved, egotistical, have a lot of difference of opinions, different viewpoints. Sometimes it could be hostile. Sometimes, like I said, it's just different opinions and approaches to how people do things. But whatever the case, this area that you are expanding into, this area that you are going into, this area that you are ready to jump in and take a leap, it's kind of saying that you're prepared for it. Like, you're prepared to battle. You have this Ace of Swords energy. You have your weapon. You've pulled it out and said, I got this. I can do this. I can hang with the best of them. It's not a problem for me. You're sharp. You're focused. You will be gaining a lot more insight, a lot more truths, a lot more clarities. Similar to what I was saying before, your discernment's getting stronger. You'll have a lot of more mental clarity. You'll be a lot more decisive in your actions. because you'll be going through these challenges, these up and coming challenges, or these possible people or even circumstances that are a little bit bumpy, it's more than likely that you are going to be gaining more intelligence, like more intellectual power. It's like a power up in terms of like your intelligence, because you're going to be going through so many different situations. You're like, okay, well, now I know how to handle this situation. Now I know how to handle this situation. It's kind of like when you enter a new job, and when you first start, you're like stumbling a little bit, and you're like, okay, this goes here and this goes there, and I'm supposed to go through this way to do this thing. And then after a couple of months, you're like, I got it. It's easy. That's what's happening here with whatever situation that you're dealing with. You'll be going through a lot of different speed bumps, but then it'll get to the point where you're like, ding, I got it. I already know what to do. I already know how I want it done. I got this on lock. I have confidence in myself. Trust me, I know exactly what I'm doing. Like, this Ace of Swords energy is extremely sharp, focused, mindful, very tactical and strategic. So whatever it is, I don't know what's happening in your life, but you're like picking up the sword, you're battling, you're fighting to get what you want, to achieve the things you want to get. And it's like you're growing in intelligence, mental clarity, and all the things I was talking about. You're getting sharper. You're gaining more, like I said, skills, possibly more friends with this King of Swords here. If this was like about, if you were looking for like love life and dating, this can be a little bit more, like if you're single, this is a little bit more like, whoa, there is so many, there's a lot of frogs out there. And this would be you like trying to like talk to different people, talk to different women, men, kissing a few frogs. And then finally you're like, wait a minute, now I've got a good filtering tactic. Now I know how to spot the ones that aren't for me and the ones that are for me. That's what's happening over the rest of the year. Let's say you were going through job interviews. This would be saying, okay, I've gone to this job, or I've looked at this job site, I've tried my resume this way. And by the end of the year, you're like, okay, now I know how to spot the jobs that are for me. Now I know how to do my resume so people like it. Now I know how to make myself stand out as a candidate, certain things like that. It's like whatever it is that you're trying to achieve and you're trying to go through, you're going to go through some challenges a little bit for the rest of the year. And then by the end of the year, you're like, got it. I know exactly how to get the things that I want to get. I know exactly how to relay my message across. If you were somebody who were in social media and you're experimenting with the type of content you want to put out there, you're going to be doing a lot of different things. And then finally it's going to get to the point where you're like, I got it. I know how to reach my target audience. You see what I'm saying? The overall message of this reading is having to, well, one of the overall messages of this reading is to having to learn to discern between the people who are trying to help and trying to give you things that can be positive and help you along their journey. Second thing would having to go through different battles to grow and learn intellectually how you want to go about achieving something and making yourself stand out in some sort of way, or all of the things that I talked about. And, you know, overcoming the challenges and going through different hurdles so that you can be wiser and sharper on the other side. And then, as I mentioned before, possibly there's this character here, probably like the King of Swords character, somebody who's very wise, very smart, and they may be giving you some advice, but you've got to learn to know which person or persons to listen to and which ones to avoid, which goes back to this receiving energy. The best way that we can learn to give is to receive. We've got to know how we know how best to receive something. We know how we can be open to other people and sharing what they have to give, their gifts, their knowledge, their experiences, and be open to receiving them. That way we can learn how in turn we can best communicate exactly what we want to communicate when we want to give somebody some advice or give somebody something, right? Something along the lines of that. So whatever it is, you're definitely growing, and it's going to be great for you, pal number 3. Like you are gaining so much insight. You are tackling the challenges that you need to tackle, and you're cutting some of the things that don't need to be there out of your life. You are being very strategic about it. You're making sure everything is planned exactly how you want it to be planned. And I really do see things working out for you. You just have to let the right ones in. Is that a movie? I think so. As soon as I said it, let the right one in. I think that's like a movie. I didn't think I liked that movie. But you've got to let the right ones in. And then it will help propel you toward success. But it's up to you to learn to decide which is for you, which advice is for you, which things that you need help with, and being open to taking on that help. Not everyone here is trying to just be a hater. Some people actually do want to see you succeed. They just may not know how to communicate that themselves. So keep that in mind, all right? So that is what I have for you, pal number 3. I do see a lot of great things coming your way in terms of, like I said, gaining new skill set, gaining new knowledge, learning, growing, possibly going to a lot of different places, because the ace is connected to the sword houses, and sword houses rules like 3rd house, 7th house, 11th house. And those places, people usually kind of like travel a lot, or kind of like move away from home. Like if you're an Aquarius ascendant, at some point you're going to move far away from home or something like that. Gemini ascendant, they necessarily may not move far away from home a lot, but at some point they usually end up traveling quite a bit. And similar to Libras kind of end up traveling a lot as well. So just keep that in mind. There could also be some traveling going on for you as well, going to different locations. And I'm not going to lie, like if you're trying to get like a visa or passport, there may be some things going on outside of your circumstances that are holding things up, that are being a little irritating, or maybe you're trying to do things certain ways and it's just not working. Be open to receiving help with that. I know personally, when I tried to get my passport, I tried to do everything on my own. I ended up having to like go get my photo like professionally done, and because I just needed the help. So maybe it might be a circumstance like that. Just accept the help. You can't do it all. Be open to it, but obviously know what's for you and what's not for you. All right, let me end the reading before I keep blabbing on, and I will see you next time, pal number 3. Hopefully this reading resonated. If not, feel free to choose another pile, or you could choose another reader. You know, maybe I'm not for you. That happens sometimes. Either way, I'm happy you stopped by. So, hey, pal number 4, let's get started on your reading and how the rest of the year will be for you. We have the Fool, the 4 of Coins, the 8 of Wands, Temperance, and Adventure here on the affirmation card. You can feel it, can't you? A gentle tug here, a soft push there, a steady whisper of adventure humming deep within your belly, begging you to come and dance with it. So what are you waiting for? Make the change, take the risk, embark on the journey. You were never meant to thrive within anything else, but that makes your soul come alive. Wow, that's perfect because it aligns great with the Fool card here. All about adventure, going exploring, taking a risk, taking a chance, being propelled to do what you feel called to do. And that's what's going to be happening for you for the rest of the year. You're going to get out of this 4 of Coins energy, this, oh, I'm so scared to take a risk, I'm so scared to take a chance, I'm so scared to lose, and you're going to jump and leap and to do something amazing. Something that you've never done before. Maybe even traveling too, because we have the Fool and the 8 of Wands, and both of those have to do with traveling. It is so wonderful that you got the Fool and this adventure affirmation saying that the rest of the year you're going to be exploring, putting yourself out there, possibly going travel. Temperance is also connected to Sagittarius, which is also another traveling card. I love that we're getting like 3 affirmations of traveling. So if you're going somewhere, or possibly even just mentally taking a trip, which means like opening up your mind to new horizons, new experiences, trying new avenues, being explorative, involving yourself in new cultures, meeting new types of people, just very much like keeping this open-minded energy here we have going on. And it's wonderful that we have this going on for you. I guess I should say it's like a new beginning, new circumstances. Like life's really going to pick up towards the rest of this year, and things are going to feel like they're going to feel so refreshing is the vibe that I'm getting. Maybe you have been used to sort of like trying to save money, gather your coins, trying to hold down your budget, make sure that, you know, you get your bills paid, you have something saved for an emergency, like you have a little bit of money for, you know, spending money and things like that. But now the cards are like saying, you know, you've been doing this for a while. You've been really creating this strong budget, trying to stick to it, trying to be steady. And now it's time for you to enjoy yourself and really get out there. Now, you may not be doing something that's like wild and spending tons and tons of money, but if you have been saving for like a birthday vacation, I've met plenty of people who are like, you know what? It's my birthday coming up. I got to tighten down, spend some money. And then boom, the rest of the year, you know, your birthday's coming up and now you're out there. Now you're spending that money. Now you're spending that coin. Now you're enjoying yourself. That hard work that you were putting in to save money and to make sure that you had everything you need so you can enjoy yourself paid off. And now you're actually going to get to enjoy all of those things that you wanted to previously enjoy but couldn't because you had to keep that tight rein for a little bit. This also becomes about, like, with this Four of Coins in the middle, it can become about fear of rejection, fear to put yourself out there, and just wanting to, just basically you're scared to step outside of something that is unfamiliar and that you are not used to, that maybe you won't be accepted for in the new areas or places that you're going or things that you're doing. It's quite possible. It kind of reminds me of, I think this was Keke Palmer who said it, where she was like first getting famous and she was going to like these expensive places and she was like, oh, do I even belong here? Like, that's that Four of Pentacles energy. Do I belong here? Is this the right crowd for me? Like, do I stand out? Am I awkward? Like this fearful mindset. And it's like, yeah, you're here, you belong here. So that's this kind of vibe that you're getting out of and you're getting into, where you're feeling like wherever I go and whatever I do, that's, if I want to belong there, then I belong there. If that's what I want to do, if that's where I see myself being, then I belong there. And so you have a lot more things coming your way that can represent you being more open to a new environment, more open to new people, more open to new circumstances. If there have been some things that you've been scared to try, or even if in a romantic sense, if you've been scared to ask somebody out, this is you finally getting the courage to do so. If you have been scared to put yourself out there because you've been single a while, this is you being finally getting the courage to do so. If you're in a relationship and you're scared to have some certain conversations because you're worried that you might lose someone, now you're being able to do so. You're finally saying, you know what? I just got to have that talk. I just got to have that conversation. I just got to say what's on my mind. I got to say what I think. I've got to be open and speak freely. I've got to push the needle forward and be able to let in this new change and developments that are happening in my life, because they're happening whether you want them to or not. Any sort of resistance of change is, you know, it really isn't going to be in your favor, because the cards are saying it's going to happen. Like, whether you want these circumstances to happen or not, this new adventure is coming. This new change is coming. This new vibe in your life is popping off, and you can get with the program now or you get with the program later. That's what the cards are basically saying to you. But honestly, I really do see what's coming up next in the year to be quite like exciting. Like I feel like this pile has a lot of things that they are interested in putting their mind to, putting their efforts in towards, especially with the Four of Coins. Because the Four of Coins is this card that represents stability and consistency. And it's like, you know, I work the same job. I go in, I do my 9 to 5 day in and day out, do that same thing over and over again until, you know, it's time for me to retire. And they do this because they don't want to rock the boat. They want that stability. They don't want to have to wake up one day and say, you know what, even though I really have this passion for baking cookies, I'm not going to take that chance, because if I start a business baking cookies, what if it flops? What if it goes up in the air and I just wasted all my money, and now I've spent my 401k and I've spent all my savings and all my money just went out the window to this business. Four of Coins is like, no, I'd rather just work my regular 9 to 5 and have that steady income, which, like I said, there's no shame in that, right? Absolutely not. But being scared to take that risk and take that chance closes you off to a lot of different things that could possibly be coming your way. That opportunities that could completely change your perspective, completely change your life. Meeting people who can really elevate your circumstances or your way of thinking in that way. So what we have coming here is a lot of communication, a lot of new opportunities coming your way, possibly opportunities to make money, possibly opportunities to travel, because we got like 3 confirmations for travel, making a lot of swift and quick decisions. You're going to have some things coming your way, and people are going to say, hey, you want to do this thing, X, Y, and Z, and you're going to have to decide like in a moment's notice. You're going to have to decide yes or no. Anything that has been delayed or that has been slowed, or something you've been working on that you feel like has been stuck, because Four of Coins can definitely represent feeling stuck, feeling like it's going nowhere. It's going to take off. All of a sudden, it's going to take off really fast, faster than you expected. I literally just got the 8 of Wands for something a couple of days ago, and I was asking about, I think certain, it might have been like a schoolwork or something, but either way, the answer to my question was things came a lot faster than expected. That's what I remember the answer. The 8 of Wands represents things coming faster than you expected, things moving, picking up motion, having a lot of ideas come to you. Like I said, no more delays. Things coming together and working harmoniously, completing a goal. So if you have been working on something, or you really wanted something, like let's say you were trying to buy a house and there was so much going on and there were so many delays and circumstances and, you know, X, Y, Z, finally this comes to completion, you close out the deal and you can move in. So if you've been working on something for quite some time, it's finally reaching its pinnacle point and it's concluding. It's wrapping up. The cards are saying it's done. It's a done deal. Whatever that case may be. So coming the rest of the year, you're going to have either one specific thing you're working on, or several things kind of wrapping up and coming to a conclusion and reaching their pinnacle point. Whether that's you graduating, whether that's you wrapping up classes, whether that's you, for some people, maybe wrapping up a relationship. That's possible. Maybe you felt like you were stuck in a relationship and you're not sure if you want to put yourself out there and find someone else, because you're like, well, maybe this might be the best person for me and I may not be able to find someone else that's better. Well, this would be, hey, you're wrapping it up and you're deciding to look for somebody better. Also, like if you're in a relationship, it doesn't necessarily mean that's going to be you in your relationship, but that's going to be for some of you. That's definitely going to be for some of you. For sure. This could also represent going back to school. This can represent developing yourself mentally, publishing a book, publishing anything really, because it's connected to Sagittarius, the 9th house. And that's all about publishing and putting yourself out there in public speaking and things like that, and putting your ideas out there in the world. It's like I've accumulated knowledge. Now I want to share it. So it could also be sharing what you know with others, being a speaker at some sort of podcast conference, whatever the case is, being in front of people and speaking, doing presentations. That's coming for you. Being like basically putting your voice out there a lot more in the public eye. And that could just be within your work environment. That could be just speaking up at home. That could be very publicly on some sort of social media platform, some sort of entertainment platform, whatever the case, on television. I don't know what, but it's definitely you're putting yourself out there. And things are going fast. Things are going swift. They're in a high speed pace for you. The rest of this year is going to feel like it flies by. It's like you slowly are dipping your toes into the water, into the kiddie pool. And then as soon as you dip your toes into the kiddie pool, somebody just drags you in. Like it's weird. Like maybe a wave just drags you in. Somebody drags you in, whatever the case is. But it's like soon as you put your foot or toe in that water, things just take off for you. So I'm trying to wonder what this is. I'm sure it's probably different things for different people, but it seems like things are really going well. It seems like you're really getting the opportunity to actually say what you have to say. And these things that you're saying are very important, and people are really respecting these things that you have to say and taking it in. And you're getting over this fear of loss. You're getting over this fear of being insecure. If you didn't have confidence in yourself, this is a boost in confidence in your own abilities. This is you finding a way to break these firm boundaries and set new ones for yourself, new ones in which that will help propel you forward and bring you more success. And I'm trying to think if I'm missing something. There's something else I know I wanted to say. Oh, the most obvious thing. You're getting to a place where it feels like your hard work and your patience has paid off. Because both of these cards can represent, in a way, being patient and waiting for something to pop off in a way that you would like it to. And it looks like that's what's coming your way. It looks like you've been patient for quite some time. Quite some time that you've been patient. You've been waiting. You've been listening to your divine guidance. And now so many messages are coming in at once from like a higher power, from your own intuitiveness. And you're getting these opportunities coming your way. This can also represent spiritual growth and spiritual development as well for some of you as well. I just want to throw that out there because it's like you can have messages from beyond. Temperance can represent obviously spirituality, spiritual growth, connecting to a higher being, connecting to a higher power, and allowing those messages to flow through you. The Fool represents, usually the Fool can represent somebody who is open to belief, somebody who is willing to take a risk, who believes in positive things can come their way, who believes that they have faith things will work out. Somebody who has faith. And so this can also represent having stronger faith in your circumstances, in yourself, and the universe, in your divine guidance. That is all coming your way. And because of that, it's leading to a place where you are being able to explore and come together with a lot of new people. And it's like you're trusting the divine guidance to lead you in the right way. And it will. It will lead you to the right path by like the end of this year. So many good things coming for you in this life. Very harmonious, very peaceful for the most part for the rest of the year. Not peaceful internally. I think there's going to be a lot going on, but you internally will be peaceful, to be honest. And I think we've covered the basis of things like exploring, getting out there, socializing a little bit. If not more social events, then more socialization, like in your work, job, neighborhood. Like if you're a stay-at-home mom, dad, whatever, then this would be like neighborhood thing is going on in that sense. Maybe going to, if you have kids, their events and talking to other parents there and making friends with them. Because you might have been like, oh, I don't know if they want to be friends with me, a little hesitant. And then someone like reaches out to you and then it sets the ball rolling. And now you have this new group of friends which you vibe with or something along the lines of that. But that is what I have for you, pile number 4. Feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. And, you know, if this doesn't resonate with you, choose another pile. Feel free to also choose another reader. Maybe I'm not the reader for you. And that is all I have to say. Either way, I'm grateful you dropped by. And so that's that. Oh. Hey, pile number 5. Let's get into how the rest of the year will be for you. We have the Page of Coins, the 7 of Swords, the Lovers, the Queen of Pentacles, and your affirmation card is Wild. There's a fire deep in your belly, begging to be acknowledged, begging to be released. So what is it then, dear one, that is holding you back? Go ahead. You're safe here. Throw your head back. Let the sound escape your lips. Find yourself dancing and singing, moving and racing, breaking free. Feel the wind whip through your hair, your heart beat within your chest. Feel the light pour into every cell of your body. Welcome it. Become it. There is beauty in the untamed, dear one. Come dance with it. Wow. Okay. Feeling wild, feeling free, letting yourself be, letting yourself go. Being your untamed self. I love that. That is very, very interesting that we have that for the rest of the year for you. And what I'm guessing is it has to do with more so taking care of your inner nature, being this untamed version of yourself, allowing yourself to truly shine like the Queen of Pentacles here. Now, I wouldn't say she's wild, but I would say in relation to this card, she is somebody who is true to herself. She marches the beat of her own drum. She makes her own rules. She does it in a respectful way. Very modest, very mindful, very demure. But she is her true self. She is open. She is someone who takes care of her needs. She focuses on her own path. She has her strong sense of who she is, strong principles, strong values, and she doesn't let other people, you know, treat her as a doormat. You can't bulldoze the Queen of Swords here. She is a strong and powerful woman. So to me, when I look at this Page of Coins and this Queen of Pentacles, it's almost like you go from this timid person, which I think that's what the card's referring to with wild. You go from this timid person, because the Page of Coins can be so shy and they're working on their confidence. They're working on getting there. Look at them. Look at this little red panda holding his teeny pentacle, like shyly holding it, saying, "Oh, look, I got a cute little pentacle, guys." And he's like whispering it, versus the Queen of Coins, Queen of Pentacles here has this huge garden of luxury, this draping gown or robe. She's got like all of this decoration. She's out in the field for everyone to see. Everything's flourishing, and she's got this pinnacle, and she's just admiring it, and saying, "Oh, I love what I've got." Like, she's not looking for validation. She's not looking for approval. She is happy with what she has, versus the Page of Coins here, kind of holding up the coin and it's like, "Oh, look at what I have here." So you're going from this like very shy and timid individual to somebody who's extremely confident, a lot more confident by the end of the year. It's like you're letting these parts of you show that maybe you haven't shown too many people before, but I think it's becoming more so like you're more secure in yourself, more secure in your values, more stable with who you are and the direction that you're going. And with the Seven of Swords here, it's interesting that we have this, because it's like saying that you're no longer running away, or you're no longer running away from who you are, your beliefs, and how you want to express yourself within the world. Now, what I was going to say before with the Seven of Swords is that it's possible that this can also represent sort of like avoiding conflict, upright, versus when you are somebody who is reverse the Seven of Swords position, it becomes about like, I'm ready to like discuss my beliefs and my thoughts with anyone, especially the lovers. The lovers has to do with your beliefs versus someone else's beliefs, your thoughts versus someone else's thoughts, your own independent way of thinking versus somebody else's own independent way of thinking. That's why it's the lovers. It has to do with trying to come together and communicate, you know, the beginning of the third house of communication. This is what I think. This is what you think. This is what you believe. This is what I believe. This is who I am. This is who you are. Okay. So that's something that's happening here. You're learning how to communicate in a way to handle conflict without running away. And you're understanding that it's okay to not have to rustle a few feathers. It's okay to be a little bit wild here, is what the cards are saying. And it's okay to stand on what you truly believe and who you are. Now, in terms of like practical things coming for you, if there have been some people who have possibly been avoiding you, you know, the other way around, maybe you're not the one avoiding things. Maybe if there's some possible people avoiding you, well, they're going to come back around and they're more than likely going to try to make amends. They're going to try to come together, see eye to eye. I usually get the lovers for people generally getting along, making connections, and keeping things peaceful and at bay. So you can have some people coming back into your life trying to smooth things over. Just want to be on the lookout for that. This can also represent if you've been somebody who's been dodging love, or somebody who hasn't been putting themselves out there, and you've been single, and let's say you haven't been looking, you've just been like in your own comfort zone. This is kind of saying you're no longer going to be that lone wolf. You have somebody more than likely coming in for you. If you have already in a relationship, this can represent spending more time together as the year goes on. Ultimately, the Queen of Pentacles is all about taking care of herself, focusing on the things that she loves to do. Like a Queen of Pentacles day would be something along the lines of like, oh, I got my hair done. I had a nice breakfast. I went for a beautiful walk. You know, maybe I helped, I don't know, a kid lost a ball and I helped the kid find the ball. Like they're doing things for themselves, but then they also do things for other people. But for the most part, it's a calm, nice day where you are allowing yourself to enjoy the fruits of your labor. You are working on things that make you happy that also can bring self-improvement in a way. And you are encouraging others to do the things that they love, and you might be helping them out doing those things. It could be something, like I said, as simple as returning somebody's ball. You know, maybe they really like that ball. They really like to have fun with that ball and play catch. I don't know. This is a weird metaphor. But anyway, weird example that I'm giving. But anyway, whatever. It has to do with helping others. So there's an element of you helping others as the year goes on. And it's a good balance because other people will be helping you. You'll be helping others. There's a lot less time that you are spending alone. If you tend to be somebody who's a little bit more of a lone wolf, a little bit more of a hermit, a little more to themselves, that's not really going to be happening as much. There's going to be a lot more communication coming up. A lot more working together, possibly even like if you are at work or at school, whatever the case may be, working in teams could possibly coming up for you as well. Having to be more communicative in that sense is what we see going on here. The lovers can also represent receiving packages, receiving messages, same with the Page of Coins. And it's also like receiving messages of kind of like, I don't know, I feel like somebody's going on some kind of like apology tour. Somebody is, I don't know, somebody maybe have done you wrong and it's like they're coming back to say something. I don't know why that's such a major theme that's coming up for me, but like in my mind, how I'm interpreting these cards. But that is something that I really feel like that's coming. Another thing, obviously, Page of Coins represents new opportunities, like a new project, new learning experience, new job, new car, new camera, new phone, whatever the case. It's like something new that you maybe have wanting to upgrade for a minute. You finally get the chance to upgrade. you finally get a message about some sort of like truth being revealed, some sort of reason, some sort of confession. I don't know. That's the main message that's coming up for the rest of the year. Like, people are starting to get a lot more honest. Somebody's a lot more honest. Somebody's opening up. Somebody's saying something. Like, it's something to do with some sort of like guilt, regret, confronting problems. Like, these are the things that are coming up. Like, I really see that. And then also personally, it can represent learning from past mistakes. Like, you finally look back at some things that maybe you personally have done, and you're just like, I could have done things differently. I could have, tried something different in the way that I went about that. And you may be taking accountability in regards to your own actions and making better choices in the future, because the Lovers has to do with choices. And so I see, as this year going on, you're reflecting on your own actions. And you're deciding, you know what, there's just a different way I could have approached that challenge. I didn't have to respond in that way. I didn't have to react in that way. I could have done things this way. And now you're taking those lessons and you're applying them, and you're making these way better choices that will keep you sound and alert, and mentally you're going to be at peace. The Lovers card is connected to Gemini, which is the house of so many different things. If you've ever had a third house transit, it has to do with transportation. It has to do with education. It has to do with how you think. So your thoughts that go on in your head, like let's say we have Jupiter transit the third house. Well, it's different for everyone, but generally it can expand your knowledge in certain areas. I remember, I think I had last time Jupiter transit my third house, I started college. And so that was obviously a huge difference, and I learned a lot more. And also, I learned to drive during that period. So I was going on longer trips, right? Because I learned to drive, so my circumference, my radius had expanded. And so the third house can rule those short distance trips. So let's say you only go to the supermarket, you go home, and maybe you go to, maybe you go out to eat sometimes. Now you're expanding and you're taking longer drives. Like, I've looked up, when people said Saturn goes to their third house, they say they're sitting in traffic. They're sitting in traffic forever. Or they've got to take some weird, awkward route home. It does good things too, where it can take you like on longer trips as well, because it's aspecting your ninth house from the third house. So what I'm trying to say that with this reading is possible that you are likely to go on some trips. And I do think it's not going to be a solo trip. It could be, but the Seven of Swords reverse is like, I'm not alone anymore. So it's very much like I'm probably going to go with someone on this trip, or it has to do with the way, like I said, reevaluating your thinking, reevaluating how you approach things. Because like I said, the third house represents how you think, what's going through your mind. If you have some intrusive thoughts, this would be batting away those intrusive thoughts and saying, you know what? I don't think that way of thinking is productive for me, and I need to take accountability for these decisions, etc. Also, the third house is the house of efforts. So when we look at this, it looks like you're putting in a lot more effort into things, and that effort that you're putting in is paying off, because like I said, you're going from the Page of Coins to the Queen of Coins. Who has more responsibility? The Queen of Coins over here. So you're putting in more effort into things, and you're gaining more responsibilities, which can go with that taking accountability and say, you know what, I'm going to take charge of that. It doesn't have to be about personal accountability about decisions. It can just be like, yeah, I think I'm going to assign myself to be accountable for this task. I'm going to assign myself to be accountable for that task. So you're taking on a little bit more responsibilities within your life, and it's paying off, possibly even financially, some sort of financial bump. For some of you, this has to do with being promoted. For some of you, this is earning more money. For others of you, this could be taking on projects. It might be more so personal projects, because like I said, I've seen the Queen of Coins more focused on things that she enjoys. Unless you really, really enjoy your work, then that would be that. And then the last thing I want to say with this sort of wild card energy is the Lovers is sort of symbolic of Adam and Eve, like being in the Garden of Eden, and away from any sort of civilization and any sort of like society. This is like the beginning of time here. Like, this is like man and woman nature. At least symbolically, that's what it sort of like represents, right? So it kind of has to do with being true to your true nature. Possibly even looking at the morals and the things that you were taught in your childhood when you were really young, and trying to balance and look at that to see if that's something that you can really connect with currently. So there may even be this evolution of values coming up here with these cards going on. Gaining more intellect, gaining more knowledge, which I think is why the Lovers is connected to the Garden of Eden, because Gemini is I think. And if you know the story of Garden of Eden, Eve ate from the apple, which was supposed to give her knowledge over good and evil, which is basically knowledge over everything, like the ability to think, the ability to make decisions, autonomy, and things along the lines of that. So it's like knowledge over everything. So basically, it's becoming expanding your mind, expanding knowledge, being more aware of certain things, almost maturing in a way. Like you're maturing a little bit more. Not to say you're not mature, but you're maturing a little bit more. And it could be in a specific area is what they're talking about, and building a strong foundation for your belief system, being able to practice what you preach. If you say, I believe in marriage. Oops, sorry, that's my alarm, guys. Sorry, that's my alarm. Let me get back to it. If you say, I believe in marriage, well, now you're really evaluating that and say, well, why do I believe in marriage? Why do I believe in marriage? Like, it's breaking away from what you've been ingrained with and becoming more of your individual self and cultivating your own thought process around something. Hence, we have wild. So that is what I want to give to you, pal number 5. You are breaking free from a lot of different values and systems that you may have held before, and you are venturing off into the new, plus all the things that I previously spoke about. If this doesn't resonate with you, feel free to choose another pile, or maybe I'm just not the reader for you. That happens sometimes too. Either way, I'm so happy you stopped by, and I hope to see you again. Au revoir.